Hey everyone, welcome back to Love and Golf, a podcast about our romantic, passionate, and sometimes twisted love affair with the game and the valuable lessons it's given us and what we give back to it. Now, when I say names like Scotty Cameron, Pete Dye, Stephen Malbon, Mura, John Byron, Mike Taylor, John Hatfield, the list goes on. What do they all have in common? Well, they all possess creative and artistic minds that have helped shape the world of golf we live in today. My next guest is one of the most talented and creative professionals in the golf world right now. What Cole has created and is currently building is influencing golf and pop culture for years to come. His extremely unique approach to apparel and club design is being injected into his brand and brainchild, Metalwood. Now, I've known Cole for about 5 or 6 years, and he's been a dear friend. He even helped me start and launch Mully. He's been a sounding board for me and our marketing team. Cole is not only an extremely talented businessman and superb golfer, he's just a great human, and I'm blessed to call him my friend. So without further ado, Cole, my man, welcome to the show, Love and Golf.
That was good. I like that. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Bro,
very horny for golf, so this is the perfect show for me.
Dude, man, I don't even know where to start this. We've talked offline, we've talked now online. Dude, so we met, I'm going to take the viewers through this, or the listeners through this. So we met, I think we met at Riv or the after party at Malbon, met you, and just one of the coolest guys, coolest energy. You were working there at the time, and instantly knew, you just knew your shit. Like, you knew golf, you eat golf, live golf, breathe golf. Mm-hmm. And I've been able to watch you and your evolution as a professional. So from there, to now in Metalwood. And I want to talk about your success and how you've gotten here and the brand you've built, because it is extremely a part of the golf community. But before we get into that, the purpose of the show is kind of we all have this relationship with the same muse. I love golf, you love golf, the guy down the streets love golf, but the relationship we all have with it, and it's unique how we all found it, right? The first and foremost is how we found it. What was that, infection point? Like, when was that moment that it was like, fuck, man, like, I love this thing? And then what is it given to you as Cole in the world? Let's start there.
Yeah. I started playing golf at a really early age. My grandparents got me onto it. My parents really never played. But my mom's parents lived in Pinehurst when I grew up. So I would go there a couple times a year, visit with them. So golf was my thing to do with my grandparents. And I was very lucky to have those, several years of learning the game with them, and obviously learning on an amazing course like the Pinehurst properties. But the infection point is kind of when I realized how special going to Pinehurst was.
What year was this? Give us a time frame.
Probably 6th or 7th grade, when I realized oh shit, I'm going to a really spectacular place. I've been to every US Open at Pinehurst. So 99, 2005, 2014. I was in 7th grade in 2007. And probably was just getting big enough or long enough to play Pinehurst number 2. I don't think it's necessarily a course that they really want a bunch of juniors on, because it is pretty grueling and pretty discouraging.
Yeah.
Can kind of knock the wind out of you. Yeah. So, no, I just remember the junior rate for all the Pinehurst courses was pretty affordable. But the one for Pinehurst number 2 was not, right. And I think that maybe they did that to discourage young players from playing it. I don't know, until they were ready. Right. But it was around that time where I was like, okay, I've seen 2 US Opens here. I understand how important it is to the game of golf. And now I'm getting to play it for the first time. And that's my first experience playing golf on probably the same course that the big guys are playing on. So that's a really cool experience, obviously. Yeah. And I don't know. I think it was part of me figuring out that like I don't have to be like everybody else. And everyone was playing basketball and football, and like I kind of had golf. Like I was on my own little island, and I used that to my advantage more than anything.
Mhm.
Just like kind of didn't really want to do any of the things that other kids were doing at the time. I didn't want to dress like them. I didn't want to. Um, I I don't know. I also think that I like golf because it's all on you. Um, like if you birdie, you birdie. If you bogey, you bogey. That's on you. And like I'm sure I work great with teams, but like I don't like playing team sports or anything like that. I like having having it all right in front of me. So
Individual responsibility.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So no, I mean I just knew it was different. I felt different doing it. It was like my shtick. It was like my thing. So that was kind of the infection point right there. It's kind of like when I started taking golf a little more seriously, playing in tournaments. Um, Realizing that it could be an opportunity to get to play some college golf and beyond. And yeah, I was just infatuated with it. I remember um, just like being on golf forums when I wasn't on the golf course, just like everything was about golf. So yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
where it all
You know, it's
started.
funny, dude. So I was the same way, right? And like I grew up playing golf in the 90s, played high school golf. And
Yeah.
like there was no like Instagram, there was no accounts we could follow. It was just like my dad. I think my dad put on Golf Channel, you know,
Mhm.
when pleated khakis were all the rage and like they're hitting in the nets and stuff. And that was the era that I grew up in, dude. I
Yeah.
think you were right
Yeah.
there with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you actually grew up because I right you told me you were born in Pinehurst in
94.
North Carolina, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
You're,
in
you're from
Raleigh.
you're from you're from Pinehurst, and then so you went from one golf mecca to Carlsbad, right? Where you grew up in
Yeah.
Carlsbad, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
exactly.
what was that like? And then take us through the journey that you played because I know you got to play college golf at
Hmm.
Loyola,
Yeah.
and then so you played high school golf, have some success there. What was it like growing up in California in the second golf mecca, you know, down there where all the OEMs are, and then playing college golf?
Yeah. I like started with Friday group lessons with like four other kids, with my coach, my swing coach, Don Emmerich. And it was more of like an after school activity than anything. But the four of us were all like bound to be on the high school golf teams our freshman year. So I feel like we were pretty good. And then when I started, like, I decided that I wanted to take it a little more seriously, I switched out of those group lessons and got into like a private lesson with Don, which was on a different day at a different time, but at the same place. It was called Rancho Carlsbad, which is like a little executive course, kind of bordering like Oceanside. It's like North County, San Diego, and it is literally right down the street from all of the OEMs. So you got Callaway there. Um, Titleist, TaylorMade, um, and sure they have all like their own fitting facilities and driving ranges and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of those employees that were like didn't have anything to do with the fitting team or like product development, they would all just take their lunch breaks at Rancho Carlsbad. So it's kind of when I started getting really, really into gear, or just like equipment in general. I would, you'd be, let's just say, for example, I'm on the driving range in like October of 2008, and someone down the driving range has like the TaylorMade R9. I'm like, what is that thing? Why do you have it? It's not out
Right.
yet. Yeah, and so I don't know. You would always see like all these new things getting brought over to Ranch Carlsbad because they were just like they had it and they were
Yeah.
testing stuff out, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I thought for a minute that I wanted to work in the golf industry as an engineer. So I was really interested in just studying everything about golf club design and what makes it sound a certain way. Like R9 was the first club to ever have flight control technology in the shaft, right? So you could like change the face angle, the lie, the loft, everything just by, clicking the hosel over. And that just fascinated me. So yeah, growing up near the OEMs was definitely a spark that like generated this want to work in the golf industry one way or another. But yeah, just through high school, progressed through my game, and was lucky enough to secure a spot on the Loyola Marymount golf team for a couple of years and play NCAA Division I golf, and met a lot of cool people, met some lifelong friends, people that are really, really good, people that are still out there gaming. And yeah, I just like, I really could not have had a better experience growing up in a place where you can play 12 months a year, be around people that can support you and give you golf balls when you need golf balls or gloves or, that sort of thing. And I did like internships with those companies in the summers, and kind of into, I guess, basically my second year at college, I was an intern at Fujikura for 2 summers. I did like a week long, this was before college actually. I did a week long internship with Tom Kroll, who is unfortunately no longer at TaylorMade, but he's kind of just like I would consider him like golf world Illuminati. He's like one of the guys that makes the golf worlds go. But he was like director of Metalwoods for a long time, and then ended up taking over the Kingdom. But I went to school with his daughter, Courtney Kroll, and his son, Tommy, was like a club technician there. And he was the one that helped me get that like week long internship, which was specifically with the research and development team. Because this was like when I wanted to go to school to be an engineer. So got to spend some time at the Kingdom. I don't even know if I remember many names of people that I crossed paths with, but they're all kind of still there, which is really cool. So like in a very roundabout way to have a company now that, has potential, the working potential to do something with TaylorMade is pretty funny. Because they're all kind of familiar names, but yeah. It was a very, very good, lucky, blessed childhood,
So then so you played college golf, and then I assume these internships were during that time, right? Or was that right after college?
Yeah, no, first 2 summers in college, I went home, and I worked at Fujikura as a marketing and like social media intern, kind of helping out with what was kind of the beginning of Instagram,
Right.
and doing Facebook and PR, like press releases and all that kind of stuff. And after that, the third summer, I stayed up in LA just to like work on my game and be with friends, because we had a house off campus, and I was a caddy at Bel Air for a couple summers. And I guess I got a real like could make its way into a job internship my fall semester of senior year with
Where was that at?
Indian Summer Agency, which is a sales and marketing agency for a couple like lifestyle surf and skate brands. Some of them based out of Los Angeles, some of them based out of Australia. So that was kind of my first foray into the apparel market, and like going to agenda trade shows and Capsule, doing Vegas, doing Miami, doing New York, all that kind of stuff.
So take me through that really quick. So you were bit by golf. You loved Pinehurst. You grew up playing. You were a talented young player, in the youth ranks, and then went to college golf. So you would eat, breathe, sleep it, for these years, and then go to LA, and then which is a fashion capital, one of the fashion capitals of the world, not the, but a hub. And so is that where you kind of got some insights, or you got privy to that world, and then you kind of like that, maybe took a break from golf? Like what was your mindset? Because eventually you smashed the two together with Metalwood, your creation. So I'm kind of curious to know where the other fashion side came from.
I took a job after, so I worked at Indian Summer Agency. One of our brands was Crap Eyewear, which is based in Venice. I did sales for Crap Eyewear until I got picked up as a buyer at Revolve.com.
Revolve, small brand. I've heard of them.
Yeah, very tiny. Only making like a couple mil a day. But yeah, so I was like I was helping out with the buying team there on the menswear side and the footwear side. And I don't know. I wasn't like,
Did
I
you
guess you
enjoy
could
it?
say I was like,
Was it fun for you?
oh yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, because I was just like meeting people
Well,
that I was
why?
like, um, I think I got pretty into like streetwear and like men's contemporary fashion in college, just living in Los Angeles and being around that. You don't get that much of that stuff in San Diego. So,
Or Pinehurst, North Carolina, for that matter.
yeah, but I also like wore a uniform to school every day, right? So when I got to college, I had no fucking clue how to dress. I just like did not know what was happening. So I had to learn pretty quick.
Can we please somehow get pictures? We need pictures of that somewhere. Like we
Dude,
need some level of men college pics, dude.
there's like, oh man, I wore a blazer over a hoodie one time for like a presentation because it was like freezing out, and I thought, oh, this is kind of like some like it's so fucking.
We're gonna
bad.
find these guys. We're gonna find the pictures. I'm gonna do my detective journalism and find these.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Revolve was
like,
your
I have
taste.
like
You
this.
got some taste of it.
Yeah. So, start to get some semblance of like trend forecasting ability. Go to Revolve. Um, meeting like these designers and brand people that I've looked up to or I've like found on Instagram. It's like, oh my God, what these people are doing is really cool, really progressive, forward thinking, just like not anything like golf at all. And golf to me at this point is still like, dry fit shirts and white belts, right? This is 2015, 2016. And like this woke golf bubble has like not popped at this point. So, so yeah, I think I get to Revolve and I'm going to fun fashion parties and meeting cool people and just like have absolutely no interest in golf for 2 years, basically.
Yeah.
Until I guess 2017. I'm on Instagram and I see my friend Orla playing golf on her on like a video, and Orla is just a girl that I met in Venice while working at Indian Summer Agency. She was kind of just like in our group that we would go out with at nights, and I saw her playing golf and I reached out to her. I was like, man, I didn't know that you played golf. Like I played in college. Like I really just had taken a break, but it looks fun. Like I should get back into it. She's like, oh yeah, I don't really play all that much, but my friends are starting like a golf streetwear brand called Malvin Golf. You should meet them. And sure enough, she's the one that introduced me to Steve and Erica Malvin. And I think I ended up meeting them literally the first day that they opened their store on Fairfax. So this is like, I think April of 2017. I like called the shop thinking it was like some really put together brand or whatever. It was like Erica's cell phone that was on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
So she goes, hello. It's like, hey, Mom Golf.
Hi, this is cool.
I mean, she goes like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's my cell phone, but like, yeah. So yeah.
Did you have any creative input there? By the way, I'm sure you've told this story hundreds of times, so we don't have to dive into it. People can find it elsewhere. But like, I'm curious to know, like, I want to get to Metalwood and like how much you think, you were inspired by Steven or Erica or the experience there. How much creative input did you have there, if any? Was it more of just like, what did that time mean to you as a whole?
I mean, I learned a lot. Definitely learned. I learned how to run a company. I came to them in 2017 thinking that like, oh, I grew up with Xander Schauffele and Bo Hostler, and like, oh, I know all these guys that are gonna be on tour soon. let's start seeding them stuff. And like, I guess, call that like a marketing plan, whatever. Like, yeah, cool. Well, we don't really have like the budget to like seed a bunch of people, that kind of stuff, but like we're open to other ideas. Like, why don't I mean, you come from the wholesale world, why don't you run wholesale for Malbin? And with that, uh, I guess I had a say in what stores got Malbin, what stores didn't get Malbin, trying to steer it down like a more premium, um, like fashion centric lane than
Mm-hmm.
other golf brands,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like at the time, we're looking at brands like Travis Mathew and Link Soul go like kind of the same way that everybody really expected them to go. Just like open up every country club possible, um, and just like, I don't know, kind of blow the doors off of it. Just knowing Steve and Erica's background from, New York art and kind of street scene, um, to have a bit more of a curated experience and be on the more premium side, working with boutiques and maybe not opening every country club in the world, but definitely like the Sherwoods, the Bel Airs, um,
Yeah.
the Rivs, that kind of stuff. That shows well, or that looks good for a brand. So I helped out with that to begin with, and as the brand started to grow, we hired on more people. We hired on amazing graphic designers, amazing stylists. It kind of started to look more like a fashion, like men's contemporary brand than a golf brand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course, because of my golf background, I had kind of a say in some product development. Like, oh, would this shirt actually be good for golf, or would it just be good for like wearing and not actually performing in? So um,
Yeah.
definitely got to help out with a lot of the creative on that side.
So did you help shape the vision too? This is the last question there, and then I want to go to another one. But did you help shape the vision? Because like I remember Malbin was like, and I could be completely wrong here because I was on the outside, but like looking in, it was a store. They did a lot of collaborations with like Puma and Nike, and it was like a hub, almost like a Fred Siegel kind of look from the outside. And then
Hmm.
eventually they had the Malbin like line,
Yeah.
their own cut and sew, whatever. And then, so
Hmm.
was that always the plan, or was that like did it just kind of take on a world of its own when the cult following online just came flocking?
I think Steve and Erica brought so much to the table when it came to like quarterbacking these collaborative efforts. And I was really excited to like work with the teams that they were bringing in and build relationships with people like people at Beats by Dre and the Glenlivet and Oakley. I think all those relationships have helped me get to where I'm now, just because of
For
like the
sure.
amount of time that we spent working with each other. But those are some of my fondest memories of working at Malbin, is getting to see how Steve and Erica work when it comes to like closing deals, making product come to life. Um, and I think we always wanted to get to a point where we could say no to collaborations, but there were so many good ones during that time that like
Mhm.
you kind of just we weren't like being selective. We were just selective by nature because all of the best brands wanted to collaborate with us. So it was really, really cool to get to work with those teams and yeah, help them bring product to life. I really got the opportunity to do everything, like design, um, produce. Uh, yeah, it was a cool
which
experience for sure.
which will be incredibly valuable for the next chapter, right? Because now
Hmm.
here's the money question. Like, did you were you already like when was that seed for you of like I'm gonna do Metalwood Studio, Metalwood? Like when was that seed planted? Was that at Malbin? Was that after Malbin? Was that and then were they do they support you and your vision still, even though you may cross paths a little bit? Like tell us about that.
Hmm.
Like that as an entrepreneur, I love founder stories because oftentimes I find that we need to tell them, right? We need to share them because there's so many people out there that have great ideas and can execute. They just don't know how, and they don't realize there's a magic in the starting. So you've done it. You started it and built it. So I'm curious, where was that moment?
I think I was playing a lot of golf while at Malbon. And I got to a point where I was like, I was fine not breaking the course record every time I played. Like, it wasn't going to happen, but like, I didn't need to like shoot a good score to enjoy myself. It was more about the company. It was more about just the time spending
Connections,
together.
relationships.
Yeah, exactly. So, and going back to my love for equipment and all of these clubs that I really wanted as a kid, being from like a bygone era, I just like I had some money. I knew how to access these clubs now just because they're on a secondhand market or are just like way cheaper than they were when they were sold at retail. So I just started buying up all these clubs that I really, really missed having as a kid or meant something to me. And
give us some examples. Come on, plug a few.
The first driver I ever bought secondhand was an R7 Super Quad with an Aldila NV 65 stiff gram shaft. And it was like, I was young. I bought it with my own like money that I earned, and like it was really cool. And I don't really remember what happened to it, but it went away. I can't remember if I sold it or I traded it for a friend to a friend or something like that. But it was like really special to me, and it was also just like an outstandingly good-looking driver. It was pretty like it can hold up to like the modern age, right? So I went back and bought that. It was like a club that retailed for like $8.99 and back in 2008, 2007, 2008. And I picked one up for like $110, brand new, with like the TP version with like a upgraded raw back shaft, and that kind of got me going. And was like, damn, all this money that I used to spend on clothing doesn't fucking matter. It's just like I could be buying Scotty Camerons with this money. So just like TaylorMade B steels. Started collecting clubs again. So it started as like a used bid basically. And
this is just this is personal, right? This is just you going out. You had no idea you were like, okay.
Right, personal, but I could also just like, if I wanted to, like, it was really, really low barrier to entry, right? Like if I wanted to grab a set of Titleist 695 MBs, like I could buy them for $150 and just probably sell them for the same price like 6 months from now. Like I just like trying new things, and now that I've tried so many
this is like 2019. I remember you were buying a bunch of new stuff, or not just you were finding stuff. And 2019 was right before the pandemic. We already had the idea from Mo. You knew about it. I think I talked about it in 2018. And you were like, I remember you're like, when is it going to be ready? I need to actually get rid of some stuff now. I have too much stuff. I remember that.
Yeah. I've played so many golf clubs at this point where I really do know what I like in golf club design. Like, muscle back height tells you a lot about how the ball is going to fly. Like a 660 Titleist 660 is like a really low muscle back versus the 690, which is pretty high. So like more weight up high means higher center of gravity, which pushes the ball lower.
Right.
And I've literally done this just by trial and error. Like I know what shapes I like, and it's I relate it to like why people like vintage retro cars. Like the lines are just sleeker. They look different. They tell the story of like what Pininfarina was doing in like the 70s and 80s, 60s. Fuck, man, I might dox myself. I don't even know if I'm recording. It was like,
fact check.
damn. Anyway.
Small tangent. But so keep going before I throw you off. Go ahead, keep going.
Oh no, I was getting back to the question, which was Metalwood was just an Instagram for me to post vintage golf inspiration and like mood board stuff while I was at Malbin.
Any idea to actually start a business? This was just a pure hobby.
Yeah. I mean,
okay. I get it. So I'm curious. I
started doing like golf outfits until I found golf khakis, which is another Instagram that highlights like some of the best fashion in golf.
They rate the players. They rate outfits in that modern. For those who don't know, at golf khakis, they do they rate outfits. You know, anyone from good, bad, and the ugly, and they give a score out of 100. But so when did you you started this Instagram account paying homage to clubs you used to love, 90s early golf classic lines, like you said, great analogy. Like people would make like a comparison to muscle cars, classic cars. When as the account's growing, because you have a great eye and aesthetic, that's the creative in you, as that's growing, and you're still at Malbin at the time, Malbin is like when did those cross? Did I lose you? Hold on a sec. I think you're recording. Okay, good. Keep going. It says I lost your visual.
Oh no. Can you see me?
Maybe no, I can't see you. But we're going to keep recording. It's going to keep recording, so the audio is still going though.
Okay. I'm trying to remember how it really all came to a head. I know that it was post-COVID breakout. I'm in LA in March, and we shut the store down and the office on March 13th. So we're all working from home. I still haven't like made or produced any Metalwood stuff. I'm still working at Malbin full time. And I think a lot of people had side hustles while working at Malbin. Like Michael was a freelance graphic designer on the side. Bryant, who's I believe their CEO now or like operations director, is like has a skincare line. Kevin is a full-time stylist. So I'm kind of just like sitting there trying to figure out like, oh, can I make more money on the side? Is it going to live in the golf world? Is it not? But like, all the while still working at Malbin. And I think I had like this idea where like Metalwood would actually be not like a spin-off brand or like a diffusion line, but potentially be part of Malbin in a way. Especially because when Erica and Steve found the Instagram and like I had a logo, and it was like gaining followers, but they kind of just asked like, yo, what is this? And I said, oh, it's just like an inspo page, kind of like helping me tell the story of these golf clubs that I'm selling on eBay or to friends or like to other secondhand marketplaces, because this is before Mully was even around.
I thought we were friends.
No. This is but this is before Mully, so I didn't. That was literally the only option, okay. Right? So, so they're like, all right, cool, like I'm into it. They thought it was rad at the time, and I'm still doing wholesale for Malbin. At a point, Manor, which is a sneaker store in Phoenix, and Clubhouse Golf Supply in Osaka, Japan, find Metalwood. They're like, this is really sick. We would be down to buy some like merchandise with your logo on it. It's like, all right, fuck. Well, I guess that's what I'm going to do for my side hustle. And I don't know. I looking back, I can totally understand how that's a conflict of interest. Being a sales rep and like wholesale director for Malbin and also selling some Metalwood stuff. I guess it didn't occur to me at the time that like buyer's budget is buyer's budget. Like an open to buy budget kind of can get allocated to any new brand that comes along. And we definitely didn't set out to like be a seasonal collection. It was more just like we're gonna make stuff when we make stuff, and we're gonna sell stuff when we sell stuff. Um, and at first, I think they were pretty bummed. They were like, "Oh, well, they used money on you that they
Which is
could have
us.
spent
Yeah.
on us." And I don't know, that was kind of like where we ended our relationship. Obviously, I've done the groundwork to like gain our relationship status back, right? Because I see Steve and Erica on occasion. It's always very amicable.
That's
But
important. Golf world's a
but
really
I
small world, you know.
yeah, totally. I wouldn't be where I'm at without the two of them, holding my hand through like my first startup experience. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Whatever, if there was ever like actual beef, I think Steve and I squashed it in 2 weeks after that when we went to Pinehurst together. We
Yes.
we drank some drinks and gambled a little bit and had a great time. But no, I feel lucky. I feel like Steve and Erica are supportive of me, and I I never set out to like break their brand or anything. It was just like I felt like we were entering a point in time where there could be more than one like alternative golf brand in the world, and we were already seeing it with brands like Devereaux,
Bogey
um,
Boys. Yeah,
Bogey
that
Boy.
came
Well,
out
Bogey
too.
Boys is like not even close to being a thing just yet, but like trying to think of what else was out there at the time. Bad Birdie was just getting started.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think we've generated enough of like a brand identity since the start to
Mhm.
where there's definitely a Malvin and Metalwood crossover. I just feel like our brand has um, just a little different flavor. I don't know. There's just something
Yeah.
to it that's not exactly the same as Malvin, which I'm happy about. I would feel a little like scummy taking the playbook and just like doing it all over again. That's never what I set out to do. It was just like I've learned a lot of what to do and also learned some things of what not to do, and I took that into my next chapter.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I can attest as a consumer of both brands, that it's different. It has a different, let's call it inspiration, motif. It's a different, it may have the same audience, but it's not like there are a lot of brands that target the same audience that just have a different feel or vibe to it. So you definitely didn't copy
Mhm.
the playbook, I don't think, in my opinion. Now, you've had Metalwood now. For how long has Metalwood been live? Like your store, because there's been an evolution of that, right? At first, it was kind of like club fabrication, and then it became, accessories. Now you have a full line, seasonal lines. Dude, watching this grow to what it is now, it seems like a short amount of time, right? I mean, like, what do you think the successes can be attributed to? Please talk on that. I'm genuinely curious to know about that.
Yeah. We filed for the LLC in June of 2020.
Wow,
Um,
2 years basically.
yeah. And I just remember like getting my first couple orders from like stores because again, I didn't have money to like make this stuff on my own. Minimums with factories that I wanted to work with in China were pretty high. Um, and like, I don't know, I wanted to make a large enough selection of goods that like we could sell some stuff, right? So and like have, give people something to choose from. Um, so let's just say hypothetically my minimum for those like the first run of head covers was 50 pieces per style per color. I was like, okay, cool. So I want to figure out if I could lock up or like underwrite half the inventory so that I only had 25 pieces to sell at direct consumer. So we really did kind of launch with wholesale. And I requested a 50% deposit upfront from all these stores like Trendy Golf and Clubhouse and Manor. And they kindly obliged and helped really like get the brand off the ground. Like they sent in the money. I was like, all right, cool. You're locked in for X amount of units. I'm going to take the money that you gave me and I'm going to go make these goods and I will send them to you um, when they're ready.
Is that standard, or was that what you took a gamble on that?
No,
They took a gamble on you?
No. They took a gamble on me. I mean, it wasn't much. It was like a couple $100, right? But like,
Still,
I think no, that's very like that. I mean, that's very founder friendly. I don't think a lot of the sexy stores that everybody wants to be in, like Essence, Kith, Dover Street, like none of those stores really do consignment unless it's like, a crazy, crazy brand that like everybody already knows. Or not consignment, sorry, deposits. Most are like net 30 terms, like just get us the stuff and we'll see if it sells. If it doesn't, we're just kind of kicking you to the curb. So I was very lucky to have built relationships with people at Manor and at Clubhouse and at Trinity Golf. And no, so I was like kind of just developing what I thought was like a good line plan and how to make the first collection sales pay for the second collection, and the second collection sales to pay for the third collection.
Yeah.
And each time I would try to add a little bit. Yeah. And I mean, it sold pretty well. I guess whatever like voice I had in golf was large enough to get the word out about these items. And I kind of just like, I was happy to do something the way I wanted to do it for the first time ever in my life. And like if you follow Metalwood, it's very obviously me still doing the Instagram. It's my voice, it's my opinions, whether you like it or not. And that's the most fun thing for me, is getting to interact with this like pretty small subculture of golf that is like as interested in clubs, club building, vintage stuff as I am. And I think I said in an article a long time ago, like I realize like I'm not casting a large net, but this net that I've cast is pretty sticky. And so but yeah, from there. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna give you a compliment because I've done a lot of social media work and marketing work in my life, and for Mully and other companies in my past life and et cetera. And it's like, dude, like this, there's one thing that I think a lot of brands miss like nowadays, especially as they get big, is there's a relatability factor to that early adopter that you have to be true to. And I think you're laughing already, dude, because I'm right.
No,
you are.
I'm so sorry. An email notification.
Okay, good.
I'll read it to you real quick.
Yeah, please, let's hear this.
The camo Metalwood hat. Sorry, we were literally just talking about brand voice, and I scheduled an email to go out at 11 a.m. It says like, your favorite hat is back. It's back. I mean, just look at that hat. It's 100% a hat. I took this picture using portrait mode on my phone. It's a really good hat. Damn, that's a good hat. And that's just what the email says. And I got an email. It like popped up on the screen while I was listening to you, and it said, I purchased my Metalwood camo hat 1 week ago, and I've had the best day of my life 7 days in a row. So that should tell you right there. It's like, I don't think I'm talking to like any 50-year-old dudes. Like, I don't get emails from people like that. I'm assuming that email came from like a contemporary of mine that like understands like bullshit niche like internet humor.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, so
no, that's what I mean. Like,
but it's hard to timely
as we grow. I was saying as we grow, man, it's hard as the brand grows, the audience grows. It's really difficult to maintain that relatability factor because you have to cater to so many different people. But you do such a great job. I think you're just still the net you have is sticky for sure.
Thank you.
Got it. So I don't want to take up too much of your time. So I have a couple more questions because I'm genuinely confused. I'm genuinely curious to know.
Confused and
I'm
concerned
concerned
well.
and curious. I'm all the above, dude. I'm all the above. Quickly, what's the future look like for you? Because I want to get into a few more questions like the future, what golf means to you, and then I have a couple rapid fire questions that I think everyone's dying to know. So
Cool.
start with the future of Metalwood. If you have to fast forward a few years, five years into the future, what's going on? You guys is thinking, by the way.
God, I really hope we're more put together than we are right now.
I think you got on with saying you're gonna kill your warehouse if warehouse was a person.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be like the first tagline is every match is won on the first tee. The second line is if we were any good at our jobs, we wouldn't be Metalwood Studio. Everything is pretty fire from the hip, and that's how you keep expectations low. One of my favorite Steve-isms still rings true today, and I don't think it's ever come up on another podcast or interview, but it's something that like I can't say that I mentor many people, but like I help people when they ask me questions, and this is one thing that I tell everybody. It's like, let's say you're a product developer and you have 4 t-shirts coming out. It comes in black, white, red, and green. And the box on the boat coming over from China to the US that holds all the green t-shirts falls off into the ocean. You're like, fuck. Oh my God, this is the end of the world. Oh my God, this is like DEFCON, like it's over. We're like, we are going to miss out on so many sales. And that is an internal issue. And Steve told me, like, you're stressing about nothing. When these 3 t-shirts come out, the customer's gonna be like, oh damn, it comes in black, white, and red? That is sick. They have no fucking idea that a green one's supposed to come out. So that is like maybe one of the sickest things I've ever learned from him. And when we fire from the hip and something doesn't come to light, like the customer has no idea that like we were supposed to release double the amount of SKUs and we just didn't. Maybe like wholesale buyers do, but we have done a lot of like damage control to prevent that from happening in the last couple seasons. But I would like to be a little more put together, a little more structured. I think in an effort to maybe raise a little money in the coming months, like we took wholesale pretty seriously for spring, and we opened up a lot of really, really amazing accounts that are depending on us to deliver goods on time. So for the first time in our lives, we're on time delivery wise. Which is a good feeling because you really want to make a good impression with these stores that kind of have no idea who you are, what your brand's about. Mm-hmm. They're kind of just taking a gamble on, if you can deliver a good product, and that's how you build relationships with people. But yeah, in the next 5 years, I hope to have a really good global presence. I would like to build the brand in the European markets and the Asian markets. I want to have distribution deals. I want to hire all my friends and pay them for all the hard work that they help me with. Yeah, I think I'm like okay. Thank you. I think I'm okay with releasing the amount of product that I do in a year. Like next year, we're going to have 8 really good drops, like 4 in the spring and 4 in the fall. And then anything on top of that, whether that be collaborations or like quick strikes or just like, oh, I feel like dropping a swing fan. So we're making a swing fan and we don't really care if it sells or not. That's like the brand building exercise that I like to do. Like I said, I think I'm all right with making the amount of product that we make and selling the amount of product that we sell. Mm-hmm. I just would like to really use the opportunity to like tell a different story, do like a bunch of editorial that a lot of golf has just never seen. And I think
Yeah.
that that's where the trend forecasting, like part of me kicks in, where I was already kind of good at predicting what was going to happen in like real time runway fashion world. Like, and seeing that golf is so far behind that, I have a really good idea of what's going to happen in golf. And I'm just going to try to get ahead of that and um, I don't know,
It's interesting. We're kind of
exploit
in the
all
same
of
place
you,
like that
make a
because
ton of money off of you.
yeah. Technologies. I mean, golf is just inherently behind, right? In every category, every trend, and everything. So we've definitely followed tech trends and doing the same thing on our end. So let's recap this. So you grew up at Pinehurst. You were connected to a game in a very like romantic way, right? That's one of the biggest places golf exists in the U.S. Moved to the mecca of golf in Southern California. Grew up playing golf, junior golf. Go play college golf. Safe to say that you've gotten a network of relationships through golf in the game. It's given you a business now. It's given you profession. It's given you money. Golf has given you a lot, man. Like, no doubt it's given you a substantial bank of information and passion and love. When you look back on that from a 30,000 foot view, pull yourself out of coal and Metalwood and the day to day, and you take a look at that landscape, take a look at everything laid out. What is golf? What does that relationship mean to you?
Golf is super friend and family oriented. Every minute I've spent playing golf, every minute I've spent working on golf product or something that was to be developed and delivered to a golf audience has been with like my best friends, playing golf with my family, playing golf with my friends. Uh, I've met so many amazing people that will be in my life forever. And from a 30,000 foot view, I see like the dotted line, like the path where everyone's like, you can see what everyone's doing, and um, you're okay, you're okay. I could see like oh man, I can't remember what Harry Potter it is, but he's looking at the map of Hogwarts and he can see where everyone's footsteps are going, right? Do you remember that
Yeah,
part?
yeah, yeah. I do. You're definitely my first and probably only guest to ever reference Harry Potter in here, but I like
Yeah.
that. Keep it going.
uh, yeah, from a 30,000 foot view, I can see everyone's footsteps going to and from the golf course or going to and from the Malvern office or going to and from the Metalwood office, and like what those people end up doing with their lives. Um, I'm I'm lucky to have introduced golf to some people. I'm lucky to have reinvigorated someone's love for the game just by what I'm doing or like what we do as a collective. Um, like you and me, we as in like part of the new age, the new guard of the golf world. Um, like I get equal joy out of watching like my new friends that we just opened a store on La Brea, and our neighbors are all like work at very very well established like men's contemporary brands, um, and maybe are closeted golfers. Maybe they're not. Maybe they've never been curious about golf at all. But I feel very lucky to know that like I've gotten them into golf, or we as a community have gotten golf to a point where it's all right for those people to play.
Yeah.
Um, so I get equal joy out of seeing them like hit their first flush shot on the third groove, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit!" Like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. That infection point. That's it. Yep.
And the guy that comes into our store that's like 40, 50 years old and sees like a set of Mizuno MP14s, and he's like, damn, I won my state am in high school with these clubs. Like, I have not played golf in years. Like, I'm gonna go dig these out of the garage and go play. So golf to me is I can't even think of the word. Melting pot's stupid. I mean, it is a melting pot, but that doesn't really, like, it's not I don't think that that's inspiring to that many people, right? Like, this is um maybe a beehive. Is that a good analogy?
That's a good analogy. I like that one. Yeah.
It's like a really like gnarly ecosystem where like people need to be playing golf to get other people.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then an infectious ecosystem. That's a good one. I was going to ask you. Probably not going to ask it. I'm going to answer it for you. It's what does golf mean to you? Then what do you give back to it? I mean, Cole, like you have not only your creative, what is it called? The products of your creativity, in your work, like the apparel, the accessories, just Metalwood. It definitely gives people, including myself, those who grew up playing in the 90s or like that nostalgic feel, a reconnection to those days, right? So I get reconnected to my high school days of playing golf. And then also you're at the same time, you're educating those golfers that took up the sport during the pandemic, who don't really have any idea of the clubs Tiger used to play or like the popular drivers, like what is actually a Metalwood? It's like it's a history lesson that meets pop culture. And dude, like I got to say, man, like it's at the perfect time of golf. And I think everything you're doing is extremely needed and valued and appreciated by all of us. Because you're letting us all fall in love with the game we either used to play or never knew existed. Because I think I
was going to stop you. I think how do you invoke nostalgia through golf in someone that's never been nostalgic about golf before? And I feel like
I think they call it melancholy. Melancholy is like you're nostalgic over something you never knew existed. You never knew,
Exactly. Right. So like there's people that are just getting into golf that are really curious to why I feel such a certain way about like 90s and early 2000s golf. And they're like, fuck, I really wish I like knew what that was. But I understand like how passionate you are about that makes me like want to experience that, even if like my 90s is right now, or like my early 2000s is right now. So yeah, melancholy.
So final couple questions here. If you had to play golf with Fred Couples or Tiger Woods?
If I had to?
You had to pick one. You can only play with one.
Fuck. I'm going to say Tiger because I really do think that I will just end up playing with Fred either way through just divine intervention. It's going to happen. I don't think I can actually get at Tiger. I think I can actually get at Fred. So I'm going to say Tiger.
I was going to say you just let a lot of people down, knowing that you are the leader and number one fan of the Fred Couples fan club, the Boom Boom fan club. But I respect the answer because I actually think you'll play with him too. I do think
it's going to happen.
And believe
me, everybody will know when I do that.
Everyone will know. Oh yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
I think you already answered it. So I think we got to buy. So the first club you remember, that first. This is the Mully question that we're trying to thread throughout every interview. What was that first club that you remember buying on your own or getting? That first one, was it the R9 driver you mentioned earlier?
No, the first one that I bought on my own was the R7. The first club that I ever had like a relationship with was a TaylorMade Nubbins blade. I think it was a BC 12S. I have to look it up. Nubbins.
We're definitely gonna throw this up, a visual too, when we release this.
What model? Yeah, Nubbins B1S. Technically a plumber's neck, but it had like a really crazy like bowed notch on the top. So Nubbins was the one with the like the ping pong leather face insert, and it had a aqua blue ionic grip. and I think it may have been quite literally like the first batch. I think I was the first person to have an ionic grip. This is
Yeah.
2004 or 5. At least I was the first person that I knew that had an ionic grip, like amongst the like junior golf world. So that was like the first.
Before Anthony Kim made it really famous. Remember that?
Did Anthony Kim make?
Yeah. He made
Really?
like that. He had like a white one, an orange one, a red one. He had a few of them.
Sick.
I remember that.
I did not know that. Yeah, that was my first putter. Well, not my first putter, but the first club that I ever had like a thing with.
Yeah. 2 more, then we're done. One is, can we do a fun, whatever you want, a product drop with clubs or something in 2023 on Mully with Metalwood?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. I want to get that on record. Yes, guys, we're winning. Okay. And last final question, and then I'll let you go and I'll let you do what you do. In our journey to this game, in our journey through business and Metalwood, and I know you've given thanks to the Malvin family, you've given thanks to a lot of people in your circle. Is there anyone else you want to give like a special shout out to, that deserves like a little shout now and just to be notified, just to give some notoriety to in your journey, because I know we don't get here alone,
Yeah. My parents have been mega supportive. My siblings, my loving girlfriend, Candace. My muses,
Who are those?
Fred Couples. So the brand is like developed around an actual character. They are the pro of yesteryear. And I think it's like a costume that you could easily achieve. Like you too could be the muse of Metalwood, but it's like friends like Hayden King, Brian Rubin, people that grew up playing golf, competitive golf, had all the signs of like a really, really like promising junior career, like cord grips, logo down, no clip towel, ping hoofer, blades, like not very many woods, like max 2 woods, and then the rest were irons. And like no matter what they shoot,
Yeah.
they could literally shoot the moon, like shoot 90, but they have like this set. It was like, damn, that guy used to be really good. I could tell.
Yeah.
So like that is like
AJJ bag tag.
Yeah, exactly. So like Brian and Hayden are that to me. But yeah, no, I mean, friends and family have been super supportive. Thanks to the haters.
You have them? How many do you have? I think you're pretty liked, man.
I think I have confirmed like 3 or 4 that would like love to see me fail.
Well, yeah. I'll go on record saying I'm definitely not one of them, because I was definitely the logo down note. Who has a clip on their towel? Really? Like, do you play golf if you have a clip on your towel? I don't even think that's a real thing anymore.
I'm dunking on you if you've got fucking clip-on towels.
So wait, I'm curious to know, like, now another tangent. What percentage of golfer do you think even knows the muse you just talked about? Current today, like right now, what golfer is that golfer? You think how many?
Less than 10%?
I think it's less than 5%.
Maybe.
And that's why I think it's cool. Like what you're doing with Metalwood is it's almost like, what the fuck is he doing here? Oh, I get it. Like there's a whole era in which this happened that still is existing.
Yeah.
Do you think the Tiger era, that boom, is something that you a reason you took up golf? Or no?
I didn't like Tiger until later. And when I realized what he had done for golf. I think I liked golf for different reasons. I liked the way that like Camilo and Ian Poulter dressed. That's why they were favorite golfers of mine. Sergio. I mean, Sergio was like my first like favorite golfer.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
I think And I think that like Tiger and Sergio's rivalry at the beginning was maybe why I didn't really like root for Tiger, but it wasn't until later
You were
that I
Team
like,
Serge.
yeah, yeah. But no, it's like, it's undeniable, right? And I brought this up the other day to a friend of mine, is like, it's really cool to be in golf right now, because a lot of the times the golf industry has kind of mirrored what Tiger has done or is doing. He's playing great, golf is great, he's on top of the world, like everyone's buying a bunch of product. He breaks his leg, everyone's over it. No one's watching TV, no one's watching like anything. He comes back, golf sales are through the roof. And for the very, very first time ever in a post-Tiger like era, I think that this is the first time that golf hasn't dipped with Tiger being out of the game. And I think that is something that we should all be super proud of, just because I think that our community has done away with, you know, maybe some communities that like, I don't know, I really do feel like that this like this kind of new guard of golfers is you know, allowing people to see golf in a new light and you know, try new things. So
on that note, man, we'll end it, and I'll just say, Cole, you're one of my friends in this world. You are one of the guardians of the game. I'm so fucking blessed and happy to have you in my corner, Mully's corner, be your buddy, and have you as a guardian, dude. I can't think of a better guy. I seriously, and I'm excited to see all the magic that's in store for 23 this next year. Your creations, the people that you put in your corner, and just everything that happens, man. Like I really think being alongside you, brother in arm, in this battle and this growth of the game, I just couldn't be happier and honored to be there.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to see the rollout.
Absolutely, bro. All right, guys. Well, thank you. This is our episode with Cole, the man, and we'll see you guys soon.